And welcome back. Today we're going to briefly talk about Parallax Effect, which is this new topic that we haven't discussed so far. So here I have a GIF of a screenshot from a older retro game in which you can see we have parallax effects in play here. Now, of course, you can see we have kind of a animated backdrop kind of deal going on, but you can also see that the different elements are paced at different pieces here. So for example, our foreground is moving at a different pace than the background. You notice the foreground, when we get that into our scene, moves really rapidly in comparison to the much slower moving background of the mountain drop here. And so when we look at parallax effect, this is sometimes things that you can think about as the root word there. It's almost like parallel of things that are ongoing besides what you might normally see. And these are cool effects that can be used to really enhance game environments and apps and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this, but through the context of the animated background that we previously created. So here we are with our animated background, and the real trick here that we're going to end up using is that we are going to export out the piece that we want to use for that piece of our background. Now, the trick here is, of course, we can go through and effectively just choose what we want to have within this image. So for example, if I only want the foreground and I don't want the character here because I don't want him part of that, he would be added in differently, I can take this foreground now and export this foreground as a PNG. It'd be very simple. I just go File, Export, and I have my PNG of my foreground. Similarly, I can go in and do just the background. I can go File, Export, and I can do a PNG of that background. Now, the real trick here is with my midground layer, I am going to make sure that when I do that, that is not a PNG. I have to make sure we do the old File, Export, Save for Web Legacy, and what that will do is allow us to export this piece here as a GIF. All right, and so that's really the biggest change there is that we can do that. And one thing you can do if you wanted to isolate these as their own documents is that we can go ahead and effectively just go File, Save As. For example, if I want to just have this midground layer here, I can go File, Save As, and I'm just going to call this midground. And I could delete out the other layers that I no longer need because, again, we're simply just looking at this midground layer now. Because now with midground, I don't care about having the foreground or the background because this is the only piece that I need to work with animating. And so now that it's in its own layer, I have that ability to do so. So this is kind of a quick video, but just an introduction to a concept. And hopefully it's something that you can be able to see that might have some different applications or get used in different places.